Welcome everyone. Today I will go over your priorities for boons in PvP. There are three categories for boons: campaign, guild, and PvP. First up, I will go over the campaign boons. Now, assuming you have stacks of PvP healing potions yet, your first priority for boons is to put 5 points into Lingering Medicine as soon as possible. This is a really important boon in PvP. It has a really high chance to proc whenever you use a healing potion. It's probably around a 50% chance to proc. Whenever it procs, it heals you for a large amount continuously for 30 seconds straight. For me, I see a bunch of 32k heal ticks when this boon procs that persist for 30 seconds. As a gameplay tip, when Lingering Medicine procs, you should get really aggressive and go on the attack until it runs out. You have very low odds of dying while it is active. Now, you may have noticed that there are two other boons that have lingering in their name. These are good too, but you don't have to have these. These are one of the last things that you'd be getting. Your second priority for boons is to put 5 points into the Marathon Runner boon down here. Marathon Runner gives you 12.5% more movement speed, which is really useful in PvP. Once you've maxed out those two high priority boons, you should start putting points into the hit point boons. And you should also start putting points into all of the boons that grant desirable stats. For the second to last boon row, the tier 5, you can only take 2 boons. I recommend taking 40, and I also recommend taking your choice of action point gain or recharge speed for the second one. For the last row, the best boon for DPS classes right now is this one right here, Bloodlust. Now, this focused retaliation over here used to be good, but it got nerfed hard. Moving on to guild boons now. For your... I'm gonna have to disappear this text. Okay, for your offense guild boon, take whichever stats you still need more of. Usually people will take power, critical strike, or critical severity, depending on what their guild has unlocked and how they chose to balance their stats on their builds. For the defensive guild boon, the best two options are hit points and defense. Which one you benefit the most from usually depends on whether or not you run a low item level build or a high item level build. Low item level builds usually take the HP boon. High item level builds usually take the defense guild boon. For your utility guild boon, you have several different options to weigh. If you are an experienced and well-geared player, you probably want to take the 10% more character speed boon to help you rotate faster. There's another commonly overlooked option that is also excellent though. The boon that increases your personal healing potion ticks by up to 48%. This boon makes the ticks from your healing potions a lot bigger when you toggle it on. Like I can show you that here. Like you can see this is 34k ticks, and when I toggle this on, it jumps up to 49k ticks for me. This boon makes the ticks from your healing. If you are under geared or a beginner, I recommend taking this boon. This is also a good boon for classes like Bard that don't need to stack movement speed. The 20% more mount speed boon over here is also good still, though keep in mind you will only be able to mount up when you are out of combat. Also, as a heads up, the group healing potion bonus right here didn't work in PvP the last several times I tested for it, so don't take this one. For the PvP guild boon category, which is over here, you want to take the Enhance Overload Wards boon. This boon is usually the strongest mathematically out of all of them, assuming you use these ward overloads at all. Another strong option is the Enhance PvP Slayer boon. Slayer overloads aren't as strong as ward overloads mathematically, but if you don't need the wards and you do need more damage, then Slayer overloads paired with this boon are a good option. I'm going to put the text on the screen again in case you guys didn't think to pause. You can pause the video here to read it. Okay, moving on to the PvP boon category. PvP boons only work while on a PvP map. These boons can only be unlocked by playing public PvP matches such as solo queue and possibly Black Ice Domination. Notably, the annual April Fowls Chicken PvP event also lets you earn PvP boon credit. To get the best bang for your buck, I recommend splitting your first 3 points across 3 different boons. This gets you the most total stats. You can see here I've got it as Critical Strike, Critical Severity, and Defense. I didn't need like if I still needed more power, I could have taken power, but I didn't. And there's also an HP boon up here that's good. And this critical avoidance one might be useful for pure tanks and maybe healers. For your second row, I recommend putting both points into either action point gain or the recharge speed one. You could split points across both boons here if you wanted to, but I'm not sure I'd recommend that or not. For the PvP capstone boon, right now you probably want Role Reversal. It's the best boon for most players right now. The Deep Wound boon down here was very strong the last time I tested it, but I'm not sure if it still is, given its values have been nerfed some. Now this Adrenaline Rush boon in the middle here would be an awesome boon if it both worked and procced often. But the last several times it was tested, it either wasn't working at all or it doesn't proc often. That is everything I wanted to go over. See you next time.